Hello and welcome back to another episode of Let's Rant About, and today we're going to rant about something that, this is going to be a different rant video. I'm not ranting about video games or even movies. This is a television show I'm ranting about today. It's going to get a little out of hand because it's a show that I have a lot of anger towards because I just think it's complete garbage and I don't understand why people continue to watch it and why it still exists, honestly. I don't know. I wish somebody would explain to me why they're still tuning in week after week. But it is American Horror Story. So let's rant about American Horror Story. Now, last night, the new season of American Horror Story Cult, as it's subtitled, premiered on FX. And with every season of this show, I sit down and I watch the first episode, and it's kind of been a running gag between me and my friends of how long am I going to last each season, because each season I always am intrigued by the premise, and it's usually okay for a couple episodes, and then it gets out of control to the point that I just hate it and I turn it off and I think it's stupid. And congratulations, FX and American Horror Story. This is the first time that I've hated a season so much I'm done after the first episode. It sucks. It's awful this season. I don't understand why this show continues to draw the audiences that it does. As someone who is a starved horror fan in the time that we live in now, this should be a goldmine of a show for me. This should be something I'm excited about. I mean, just thinking about it back in 2011 when they announced this show and like, hey, we're going to do a yearly anthology horror series called American Horror Story, and each season's going to have the same actors, but they're going to be playing different parts in different stories. I thought this was a fantastic idea, and it has failed me every single season. Every single season, with one exception, and that was season 2, American Horror Story Asylum. I actually enjoyed that season. I thought it was okay. First season, didn't care for it. Second season, enjoyed it. American Horror Story Coven, which was the third season that dealt with witches, turned it off after about half the season. Season 4 Freak Show, turned it off when they had the midget orgy. That was too far. I was done there. The only part of Freak Show I enjoyed was Twisty the Clown, and he's in this new season. We'll get to that in a minute. The 5th season was Hotel. The only other season I finished completely of this show was Hotel because I like Lady Gaga and I thought that she did an okay job. And again, she's pretty good at acting. Shockingly, she's not bad. But good actress trapped in a terrible show. Not a great season of that show. Season 6 was the Roanoke one, or kind of like the documentary, fake documentary style. And as someone who's always been fascinated by the story of Roanoke, it's a story in history that is a mystery. We don't know the answer to it. I was very intrigued by the premise. I felt it was a letdown. It wasn't the worst season of the show by far. It was actually one of the better ones from what I watched of it, but I just lost interest. And this season, man, it's bad. So it should come at no surprise that this season of American Horror Story deals with the election from last year, but Trump and Hillary Clinton and all that. Not surprising. And I'm not going to get political on this channel. I'm not going to talk, tell you if I like Trump or I like Hillary Clinton or anything. Honestly, I thought they were both bad candidates. But again, this isn't a political channel, so we're not going to dive into politics here. However, this show, and I'm not surprised because this is Hollywood, the way they portray, and this is how it's going to be difficult for me to say this, but this show, like Hollywood and like a lot of the media, portrays Trump supporters and Trump fans and people that voted for Trump as awful, awful people. And I don't honestly believe that every single person that was out there that voted for Trump is a terrible person. Some people saw him as the lesser of two evils and they voted for him. Personally, I didn't vote for either of these people. I voted third party because I thought they were both terrible candidates. But I'm tired of this, hey, did you vote for Donald Trump? You're a terrible person because you voted for Donald Trump. I'm tired of that argument, and that's all this season is going to be about. And I laugh because I read an article before this season premiered that the creator, Ryan Murphy, was like, oh, this entire season's not going to be about that. Oh, no, it totally is. And it's a lot harsher than I thought. So let me dive into the premise for this season. There are two main characters you have, and I don't remember names because they're not important. You have the main chick who's in every season of American Horror Story, her and her lesbian wife, and they have their gender-neutral kid because that's what it is. I think the kid's name is Oz. I could be wrong. You have them on election night. They're big Democrats and big Hillary Clinton supporters, obviously, and then on the other side you have Evan Peters' character, who's a big Trump supporter, and you see both sides of it. You see them in tears because Trump won, and you have Evan Peters' character, who's literally humping the TV in excitement because Trump won. And it just goes down the drain from there. So this whole Trump thing, between Trump winning the election and the main character finding her kid in bed reading a comic about Twisty the Clown, and that's how they bring Twisty the Clown back into this new season, triggers like some sort of fear she had younger about clowns. Like, she has a terrifying fear of clowns. And then she starts seeing clowns everywhere. And this is where I have a problem with this. This is where it falls apart for me. We are 7 seasons into a show that, for most part, has never really been scary, and instead has just kind of relied on over-the-top violence and over-the-top sexual themes, and this season's no different. But here's my main problem. Is the scariest thing we can come up with in 2017 for a scary horror-themed television show a guy in a clown mask masturbating? Because that's what this is. It is literally... She goes into a grocery store, she's already kind of on edge, whatever, and then she starts seeing clowns. First clown she sees 2 clowns sodomizing each other. That's the first thing she sees. And she turns the corner and another clown's just whacking it in the corner. And then this other clown kind of chases her. It's ridiculous. There's at least 3 scenes in the first episode of this show of a guy in a clown mask masturbating. What are we doing? Why is this a TV show? Why is this what people consider scary? Why do people continue to watch this show every single week that it's on? Why does it continue to garnish ratings? And why do people keep watching it? I would love someone to explain to me and sit down and have a discussion with me about why they think American Horror Story is a good show. Because it's not a good show. It's never been a good show. And that's going to be the basis of my argument for my rant here. It's never been a good show. Unfortunately, it has good actors that are trapped in a terrible TV show that people continue to watch. And this season is arguably the worst that has ever been of this show, and we're only 1 episode in, and I'm out. Like, I have no desire to watch any more episodes of this. When it was done, I actually just deleted it off the DVR, and it's over. I can't believe that this is what we've done. And the thing about it is, every season presents an intriguing storyline that I'm interested in. The Asylum, I thought that was an interesting premise. And they talked about, like, there was a crazy killer named Bloodyface, I think. That was a cool premise. The Witch one, thought it was a cool premise. They squandered it. They went too far with it. The problem I had with that one was bringing back Kathy Bates' character from the dead, not really explaining that, and then she had her whole issue with the actress that played the main character in that movie, Precious, and that just spiraled out of control. The problem with American Horror Story is that the people that write the show have no idea what they're writing. They just sit in a room and they throw ideas at each other and they're like, hey, yeah, that sounds scary. Let's put it in this episode. Oh, that sounds pretty good. Let's put it in that episode. And there's no, like, storyline that makes any comprehensible sense. Yet people argue it does. It just doesn't make sense to me. It never has. Yeah, I watch the first episode every season because I just have this little part of me that hopes, like, oh, maybe this is the season where they're going to do it. Maybe they're going to do it. And they never do. They've never, ever had what I consider a good season, with the exception of Asylum. I thought that was okay. The problem is, all you need to do to make a good horror movie is you need to have a story, a setting, characters that are believable, and some sort of scary element that scares the audience. That's all you need. You need to have it have a logical beginning, middle, and end, a conclusion. That's all I ask for in horror. And there are plenty of great examples of good horror. My favorite stories in horror are the ones that end with a little bit of mystery and for you to think about it. At some point here, I'm going to be doing a video recap of this season of Twin Peaks, and what I liked about the end of that show is it didn't give you all the answers at the end. Not to spoil anything, but it didn't wrap up in what I consider a happy, everybody's happy, everybody's hanging out and drinking coffee or whatever. Like, that's not how the show ended. It ended with mystery, and it ended in a way that makes you think. That's when horror is the best. The problem with this show is that they don't do that. They just squander their opportunities every single time. And this is no different. This season is no different than any other season of this show. I'd argue it's worse. And I feel really bad because, again, there are good actors and actresses that give it their all in this show, and they do good with what they're given, but what they're given is garbage. And I just don't understand how in 2017 this show still has an audience and people still watch it when it just gets worse each season. This is easily the worst season they've done, and it's only 1 episode in. I just can't imagine it getting better. So I I expected a little bit more out of this, and it just fell so incredibly flat for me. And then I look on, you know, different news sites, and people are giving it praise. Like, some people like it, some people seem to hate it, but like, I look at it and just like, who's praising this? Who thinks this is good? It's garbage television. And I just, oh man, I just don't understand why it's still a TV show in 2017. Please leave a comment in the comment section below. Tell me why you watch American Horror Story, why you think it's a good show, and explain to me the appeal of it, because I just don't see the appeal of it. And I love horror, and this should be something that I look forward to every year, and every year it's an incredible letdown. This is the most it's ever let me down, but I'm let down every season, so I've come to expect it. Anyways, guys, ranted about American Horror Story. This season sucks. Don't watch it. Don't bother. It's garbage. There's plenty of other things you can watch on television. You know, we're in the season now where new shows are starting. You know, and if you're a Netflix subscriber, there's great shows on there. You know, we're what, like 7 weeks from the premiere of Stranger Things season 2. That's gonna be awesome. So, you know, there's better television out there. You can find better horror. You can find better things to do with your time than give it to American Horror Story. It's garbage. Don't bother watching it. Anyways, guys, hope you liked this video. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. And as always, until next time.